Good, Chris?
Yep.
All right. Well, hello everybody. To Adams Polish's Wednesday Live. Good to see everybody again. I'm sure most of the regulars are on here with Anton, everybody else, Ken Wilson. So today, it's 80 degrees today, all right, in Colorado, if you can believe that, in October. But there's some years that it's kind of like this. I would say like this time of year is generally, what would you say, Chris? Kind of like 70s usually. Yeah. So kind of a good time of year here in Colorado, especially if you show them behind the pallets over there, you can see all the trees have started to change color. And so usually kind of this time of year when the leaves have started to shift and, you know, I catch like an 80-degree day like today, or, you know, 70, 75, doesn't, either way. It's kind of perfect weather. I like to do what I'm doing right now, which is I'm preparing my car for winter. And my plan was to have this all washed before we went live, but I got caught up doing a couple things. And so I'm a little bit late right now, so I apologize. But I think there's a couple things that I can actually like really explain, kind of even a part of the washing process, because, well, let me just touch on why you want to prepare your car for winter. So there's winter prep stuff that even like the local news in Colorado talks about, and I imagine in the Midwest they do segments on this as well. But essentially, like, preparing your car for winter traditionally is more of the internals. Like, is your coolant topped off and good to go? Is your windshield wiper fluid good to go? Have you gotten an oil change? Does your battery life, is it good right now? Because when you get into the winter months and you get, you know, a big snowstorm, you don't want to be stranded on the side of the road in 10, 15 degree weather, you know? So winter preparation really touches on that part of it. But when it comes to car care, the stuff that goes onto your car during the winter months is very harsh, really bad for your paint. And it can actually like accelerate damage that's like already on there. So getting your car ready to go into winter, both internally and externally, is ideal, right? So I'll take 1 week to do kind of the internal stuff, make sure my battery's good, get my Prestone coolant, because Prestone's amazing. Thanks, man. And, you know, and then I have another week or day where I do what I'm doing today, which is preparing my car for winter, as far as the appearance part of it, the external. And I think we think about car care kind of like self-care, right? Like, you know, if you get sick, you take antibiotics. You know, if you take vitamins, all this stuff to like what you put in your body when you eat, all that stuff is like, makes you feel good, all this other stuff. But you got to take showers every day, wash your body, put lotion on, make sure your hair looks great, unlike mine, all that kind of stuff, right? So with your car, you can kind of treat it the same way, you know? So getting regular oil changes, but also having your engine clean, like things like that is really important. So what I'm doing in the process right now, which I'm washing the car, but I'm actually, I don't know if I've ever done this before, because I don't know if I needed to, but I foam the car with strip wash. So all the foam on the car already is strip wash. And I actually put Graphene shampoo in the bucket, mainly because it's the only thing I could find inside. But I was like, I don't know, it might actually work out better for, I'm kind of double dipping on the deep cleaning portion of the washing right now. So I'm just going through, I'm not even doing a 2-bucket wash right now. I would save the 2-bucket wash for after a lot of the work that I'll do to this car. And today, you know, I'm hoping it won't, but today may go a little bit longer than that scheduled hour that we put on there. But right now I'm washing the car. And strip wash for me is just a deep clean. And, you know I don't have any wax or sealant on here, so it's not as much to remove anything like that, but more of, you know, any road grime or anything like that that I have on here, I'm just gonna do a deep clean on it with the strip wash first.
And Sim has a question regarding strip wash.
Yeah, Ken.
Ken says, when I polish and coat my truck and do a section at a time, so like polishing one panel per weekend type thing.
Yeah.
Should I strip wash on the section you're doing, or just strip wash the whole car?
I think what I would do if you're doing it section by section is like, you should start with a wash, right? So like I would do a strip wash from the very beginning. So let's say you're gonna do this section right here one Saturday, and you still need to wash the car before you start doing it. So just strip wash everything, because that's gonna remove any wax or sealant that you've had on the car. So then you go on that Saturday, you polish and ceramic coat this portion. You don't need to strip wash this again because you're not adding wax or sealant. And I imagine like this time of year, you're not going through magnesium chloride or salty road conditions. So you can just then, if your car isn't even really that dirty, like noticeable dirt on it, you could even just waterless wash the next section, polish, compound polish ceramic coat. And then the next time, you know, you could just pretty much waterless wash everything. But if it's too dirty, then wash it. And I would recommend doing like a 2-bucket wash, because you don't want to cause damage in the places you've already compound and polished and ceramic coated. So yeah, I mean, if you're not going to address the ceramic coated area again, like if you could just waterless wash that part, it's going to make it a lot more efficient. So I think that's more kind of how I would approach it. Just, you know, I think the tough thing with car care is that it sometimes feels like there's like an overarching, there's only one process that you can do. But if you use multiple processes to your advantage, just kind of assess the car and see, you know, the condition it's in before you move into like the steps you're going to take. So that's kind of why I'm saying, and I think too, even if your car was even like a little bit more dirty, I would potentially even say to waterless wash it anyways, because even if you add a couple swirl marks to the part you're going to compound and polish, you're going to fix it anyways, you know. So, and that's partially again why, like right now, as I wash this car, I am not doing a 2-bucket wash, because I will one step this car. So it's going to remove any light swirl marks, because I put graphene ceramic spray coat on in this twice a year. This is one of those times. So as a winter prep in October, and then as a spring cleaning in April or May. So this is, I talk about this all the time. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this all the time. Winter prep in October, spring cleaning in April or May. And so I'm in that time right now where in October I need to winter prep this thing. And so that's the process I'm doing right now. And so because I will one step this anyways, I'm just gonna use one mitt, one bucket, strip wash, and I have graphene shampoo in here. Get it clean. But there is one thing I'm gonna do after I finish. I'm almost done washing it right now. I will clay it during this washing process, because that's the easiest way to do it. So
You were mentioning graphene shampoo. Somebody didn't ask this, but people ask a lot if you can use that on a car that's not already coated.
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, graphene shampoo is not biased to a ceramic coated vehicle. So if you want a little bit of extra degreasing power, a little bit extra cleaning power, then graphene shampoo is your product. It doesn't have any protection agents in it. You know, we tried to add some protection agents to it, but it just doesn't work. Like the silica that you would put in there kind of destroys the foaming activity. So that's why like Rinse Aid has silica in it. When you spray it, it's just milky. It doesn't foam at all. The silica is preventing it from doing that. And so graphene shampoo, we couldn't, instead of taking the approach of trying to add protection to it, we took the approach of, well, oftentimes your ceramic coating, when you drive through rain, gets a lot of road oil on the side of it, road grime. And graphene shampoo is the thing that's going to deep clean that to bring back the ceramic that's on here, and it will start beating water again. So yeah, you can use it on non-ceramic coated vehicles for sure. So rinse this off real quick. I'm starting in the shade. What?
What are you rinsing this with?
I'm rinsing this with the new pressure washer, sitting right there. Don't show it, Chris, because it's dirty. No, I'm just kidding. But it is dirty. We've been using it like every day, so it's just kind of our workhorse right now. So I am using the new pressure washer, which I love.
The shampoo first?
What's that?
Ken said, would you also foam this with a shampoo first?
Yeah, you can use graphene shampoo to foam the car and wash it. So, like again, I think just
Which you did. We just didn't see that step.
no, I use strip wash to foam it, and then I use graphene shampoo in my bucket. But I did that on purpose because I'm trying to deep clean my paint as much as I possibly can. So I'm using like the power of a high pH soap with graphene shampoo that's more of a degreasing soap but still pH neutral, that I can really like deep clean what's on my car. But yeah, if graphene shampoo, you want to use that to get some degreasing power in deep cleaning, graphene shampoo in your foam cannon and in your bucket is totally, and it actually foams quite a bit because an interesting thing is like a surfactant is a fancy word for soap. Okay, like the soap you use in your bathroom and your sink, that's surfactant. It essentially mixes in with like dirt that's on your hand, and then when it holds onto it, and then when water molecules, it grabs onto it and flushes it away. And so in graphene shampoo, Chris, our chemist, added 2 extra like more powerful surfactants plus some degreasing, like almost like an all-purpose cleaner degreasing type of property. But with those 2 extra surfactants in there, it actually foams better. Surfactants generally foam. That's why like car soap, mega foam, things like that foam so well, because they're surfactant based. They aerate and they bubble up and foam. And so the graphene shampoo actually works really good out of the foam cannon.
I wash weekly 3 times. Once at home.
Dude, Chester has a cleaning problem. I'm just kidding.
I think he meant like
No, I'm just
every
kidding.
week.
I'm just giving him a hard time. But how often should you use graphene shampoo? I would say graphene shampoo for me is not as much of like how often should I use it. It's more of when I should use it. And so I let the paint tell me when it needs it. Okay, so let's say you have put the ceramic coating on your car, and I actually have a really, really good video on this on YouTube. I would strongly recommend watching it. It's called Listen Up, What is Your Ceramic Coating Telling You? Okay, so essentially your ceramic coating is going to do sign language to you, and it's a language that is not universal, but it is on your car. So when I spray this, if you can notice this, it's beating water right now. See the water beating happening? If I did that and this portion up here was beating water, but this was not, okay? This was all flat right here. It would be a very specific indicator to me that there was oil on my car, because most 90% of cars, their exhaust points towards the concrete, towards the road, okay? And so it's just blasting exhaust residue, which is oil residue, onto the ground. And then it rains, it mixes with all of that oil, kind of. It doesn't, like, they don't pair together, but it like incorporates with each other. And then when you drive, the rain and oil splashes up onto the side of your car, and your ceramic coating is not, I can't remember the name of it. I guess you could call it omniphobic, which means it's like rejects everything. It only rejects water. It's hydrophobic. So if oil gets on here, it stays on there. So then when you rinse it, the oil kind of stays and the water will get flat and run off of it. You use the degreasing power and extra cleaning power of graphene shampoo. You foam the car down. You hit it with the mitt. The next time you come, like when you go to rinse off that soap, it's going to look like this. It's going to be beating water again. So instead of being like, I should use it once a week, I would just say, if it rains and you go to wash your car, because you have to rinse your car first before you start foaming it, it's immediately going to tell you what's happening. You rinse the car. If it's flat on the bottom half or anywhere on the car, use graphene shampoo. If you rinse the car like this and it looks like that where it's beating water, use regular car shampoo. They're just tools in your tool bag. You know, it's like, do I need a Phillips head screwdriver or a flathead screwdriver? Well, this time you need graphene shampoo. I hope that like makes sense. It's not something that needs to be like a consistent type of thing. It's more of
It's not like every 3 weeks. It's whenever it needs it.
yeah, it's whenever it needs it. So like let's say that it rains, like I get my car cleaned and ceramic coated. It rains tomorrow. I drive in it. I clean it with graphene shampoo and like the water beating is perfect again the next day. Then 3 days later, it rains again and I drive in it. I might have to use graphene shampoo again like 2 times in a row because the conditions warranted me to do that. But you could be like Colorado where, you know, I mean, it rains in the summer, I'd say from what, Chris? Like late June, maybe early July through August and early September. It rains every day at 3 o'clock. It lasts 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, but it absolutely rains every day at 3 o'clock. It's like clockwork. And so I end up using graphene shampoo more often during the summer because it's raining so much, right? But in the winter, I end up using strip wash a little bit more because there's more salt and magnesium chloride on my car. So I'm like understanding the conditions that I'm driving in, but also like letting my car tell me what it needs, I guess would be like a good way to put that. And then every time in between, like in the summer, if it doesn't rain and my car's dirty and I want to wash it, I'll just use regular car shampoo, nothing else, straight out of the foam cannon and out of my bucket. So I probably would say I use car shampoo 80% of the time. And then another 10% I use graphene shampoo, and another 10%, no, probably another 15% I use graphene shampoo, and then another 5% I use strip wash. So
Said ordered graphene shampoo. I'm actually going to ceramic spray coat my car this weekend for winter prep.
dude, T182?
Yep.
I love that. Well,
It's
you're
on
gonna,
our wavelength.
yeah, T182 is gonna love the graphene shampoo. That's exciting. You're gonna do the spray coating. I know you're gonna love it. Oh, one thing I do want to tell you guys really quick. There's a YouTube channel. He's local in Colorado. It's called Trail Traveler. His name's Kerry, and Kerry came here and we did a collaboration together. His whole page is dedicated to off-roading and overlanding, and so he came here. He actually reached out to me on LinkedIn, and he wanted to know how to fix the pinstripes. Pinstripes are like brush scratches from being on the trail. And so he came here and I was like, Carrie, I think like I could help you with that, but it doesn't really like solve everything. So we did end up polishing it, but we ceramic coated half of his car. And so you really got to see the effect of the graphene ceramic spray coating on the driver's side of his car versus not on the passenger side. And it's a really unique video. It's a 2-part video. So one is creating the foundation, which is like washing it, getting it ready, polishing it, ceramic coating it. And then part 2 is after he went out on the trail and came back and we show cleaning it. And actually there's a separate video from that he posted yesterday that is a tour of our whole warehouse. So if you guys have a chance, Trail Traveler, go check him out. And he has a pretty cool, it's a very like, really cool page, no overproduction, anything. He just loves what he does. And so It was a really cool experience to do that with him. But you guys should check that out because I think it's cool. And like I said, the first video is just a tour, essentially what you guys got last week, a tour of the warehouse. But then I think he'll start posting the other ones soon. My spray coating's still working pretty good, man. I have literally not put graphene ceramic spray coating on this car since the spring. And so you can really see, it's hard to see with the white, but I think this strip wash, and it's a little flat right here. You can actually watch this, right? It's a little bit flat in here, which is fine. I kind of expect it to be worn away a little bit. This is a daily driven car. But this deep cleaning with the strip wash and the graphene shampoo is doing a good job. Now I will say, I park at my house. There's a tree at my house. It sits right over my car. So this, you can tell, this like has something on it. It's like the coating wants to work, but it's just, it stays flat for a second and then it sheets up and then it runs off, right? So it's like, to me, that's telling me that there's something on my car. And so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna grab my graphene shampoo real quick. Have about a quarter of a bottle left. And I got something inside real quick. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, the door did not like me. I got this guy. It's called the clay mitt. All right. It's like a fine grade clay medium that is put onto this mitt. Okay. And I'm gonna set this right here in the bucket, and then I'm gonna take the top off of my graphene shampoo. And I forgot to get the foam cannon.
While you do that, Rodney wants to know if it's okay to hook up the new pressure washer to a DI system and hose reel setup, like an existing setup.
Can you hook up the new pressure washer to a DI system and a hose reel setup? Yes, and you absolutely should, because it will make your life so easy. Yeah, it's compatible with anything. And I think one of the things we tried to do was, if you look at the options online, we have three options. One is just like your standard pressure washer. It does not come with the nozzle. It does not come with the hose. It's just the pressure washer unit, because let's say that you purchased one of our pressure washers previously, like the 2.0 that you can like walk around like a suitcase. If you have the nice hose and the gun to it already, you can just take that pressure washer unit, set it aside, and put the new Pro Pressure Washer 2.0, and everything just plugs in and goes. It's very unique because we decided not to do the standard kind of Chinese hookups where you like screw it on, and then like if you wanted to upgrade it, you had to like buy different components. Ours comes standard with the quick disconnects and then just the connection from your hose to the pressure washer. So it's more designed for detailing, because we just felt like every pressure washer we'd offer before that doesn't come with that stuff, it's such a hassle to we have to offer certain packages and all, it's just confusing. So we're offering it just by itself. So if you already have kind of your snub nose and steel braided hose setup, you can just get the pressure washer, plug and play. Then we have option 2, which is the pressure washer, the snub nose, and the steel braided hose, 60-foot steel braided hose. And then the third option is the snub nose, steel braided hose, a foam cannon, this one, the premium foam cannon, and a bottle, a 60-ounce bottle of Megafoam. So you can either go big dog or you can just plug and play the very basic option. And so, yeah, like if you have the hose reel already and you have everything set up, you can, and also the pressure washer, Pro Pressure Washer 2.0 comes with a wall mount already. So it's a little bit different. It's not a static wall mount where you like put it up there and it stays. It's a J hook, and you mount that to your wall, and then you can set your pressure washer on it, or you could take it off.
It's like a wall hanger.
Wall hanger, yeah, versus, you know, our Pro Pressure Washer 1.0, first off, it was over 100 pounds, and it was just, you had to put it on the wall and leave it, you know, which actually like made for some pretty cool setups, but I like the setup of the new one. And the new Pro Pressure Washer 2.0 has some things on there like quick disconnects that are holders for both your foam cannon and your snub nose, so very easy to stow away things.
Can Graphene shampoo also remove that road oil from windshield?
Yeah, Ken said that. Keith? P. Just P. Yeah, P. It will pretty much remove road oil on your whole car. So you could even spray it into your fender wells and stuff like that. So I just set Graphene shampoo onto just straight into the premium foam cannon, and I just dialed this up to get the amount of suds or foam I want. You don't need a lot. You don't need to over foam your car when you're doing the clay mitt portion. So it's just like a nice even layer like this, just enough to have the lubricity to run the mitt on the surface. Just kind of like that. It's nothing too outrageous. Okay, perfect. And then I can take this off. Set this in here. Put this back on here. Can put this back in my cabinet. Now, take the clay mitt. I just set it in the bucket, so I got a little bit of the suds on it. And now, I just take this, and this is not something you need to be crazy meticulous about. It's just a matter of quickly doing it.
Rodney says, is the clay mitt comparable to the visco or medium clay?
The clay mitt is comparable to the fine grade clay. So I would say that the clay mitt and the fine grade clay are the best options of clay for doing like maintenance clay, because with a fine grade it's a little bit less aggressive, and so you can clay something without marring it. If you have really soft paint, it could potentially mar a little bit, but whenever I'm claying a ceramic coated vehicle, I either use fine grade clay or this clay mitt. I tend to use this more because what I'm doing right now is way easier. I mean, it just took me 2 minutes to do almost a whole half of a car, you know, so
And with a clay and not a clay mitt, you can't use this foam as a lubricant? Is that what you're saying?
no, you can still use like visco clay or medium grade clay or fine grade clay, like with this. The foam is just the lubrication aspect. Like I'm supplementing the foam for detail spray, because detail spray is normally what you would use. And there's times where I've used this with detail spray because I'm not in the washing process. But just to compare, let me grab this real fast. Just to compare really quick so you can see. This is also why I like the clay mitt. Another reason why I like the clay mitt is just, obviously this gets stretched out a little bit, but size comparison. Like this has a much larger footprint, so it's more,
You're getting more done.
Yeah, it tends to be more efficient because I have a bigger surface area. Think of it like polishing. You know, it's like that's a micro polisher. This is a 15 millimeter. You know, it's like you can get more done with a bigger surface area. And I didn't, just as a note real quick, I did not clay the windshield yet because I'm not going to use the clay mitt for that. I'm actually going to use the medium grade clay. That's actually why I had that bar there. And sorry, go ahead.
Anton says, Joe, what do you think of out-of-spec detailing using polymer or glass packaging?
Yeah, out of spec, Mr. Out of Spec. That's Colton is his name actually, and he's local in Colorado. He is just north of here, about 45. Well, I guess from here it'd be more like an hour, but he's in Greeley, Colorado, very north Colorado, and I've known Colton a really, really long time. He's really, really good at what he does, and you know, I would say that for us, the suggestion to use glass polish by hand is very much targeted to the I didn't need to do that. Is very much targeted to the everyday consumer, like your DIY person at home, because they don't have a lot of experience with that kind of thing, right? And so Colton has a lot of experience with using glass polishes and compounds and all that stuff, and so for him to do it on a machine, I feel completely comfortable and fine with that. I think he has an idea that if something happened, he'd know how to fix it. Whereas our customers, you know, nothing terribly wrong with this, but you know, if glass polish screws up someone's glass, they're gonna call us and say, you need to replace my glass, you know? So we have to make sure that we present it to our DIY customers in a way that is reasonable for them to use. And I think, you know, we've been able to use it. I've never used it on the machine. I've never had to use it on the machine because it works so well by hand. And so I think, Anton, since you are a more established professional detailer, I would say you can go ahead and try it. I just recommend doing it at a lower setting. You know, like do it on speed 3 instead of speed 4, or maybe speed 2 instead of speed 4, and just kind of see the results you get. The tough thing with the glass polish is that it has some water spot removal agents to it, like our water spot remover, which is acid. And so what we don't want to do is use the glass polish and let it stay and sit on the glass surface, because the acid is going to continue to work. So if you do it by machine, make sure you do like if you did this piece of the glass by machine, do half of it and then wipe it off immediately. Then do the other half and wipe it off immediately. Just don't let it dwell for too long, would be my suggestion. All right, I think I'm pretty much done with. I just want to hit this real quick. I also, just so you guys know, I have a deionizer hooked up. It's the big Pro one right there. So I feel a little bit more, I'm not as nervous about water spots today. I feel like I can be way lazier, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not really sure. I'm still going to try to do this in a reasonable manner. So I'm going to start on the other side real quick. So I just finished the clay mitt. Now I just rinse the soap off. So I'll rinse this off and then I'll get into some more of the prep stuff. By the way, I have a terrible water spot problem on my car. So I have been making the mistake of I park in my driveway and my sprinklers go on like every other night and it blows onto my car. Like, come feel this, Chris. It's probably the worst I've ever felt.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
That's just water spots?
Yeah. It's all over my wheels. So I have to fix that. What's that?
That's just water spots?
Straight up water spots, yeah. I mean, I just clayed over it. It didn't do anything. So the clay, just by using the clay mitt, it is making the hydrophobics of the spray coating that much more. It's kind of the maintenance stuff you got to do to stuff like that, you know. On what?
This hood.
Oh, on your hood, that's fine. It doesn't do anything to paint at all, zero. Yeah, as long as it didn't cause any damage, you're fine. I don't think it really, it might do a little bit, but I don't think it's not too crazy.
Chester says, should I not wash weekly?
Not wash what?
Weekly.
No, wash weekly. 1,000%. I would just, that's Chester?
Yep.
Yeah. Adam, the guy who founded this business, Adam Patali, he washes 3 times a week. So I don't know if I know anybody that watches that much, but he is retired and he did start a detailing business. So I think he that naturally is what he does. But he also has he has like a good, I don't know, 15 car collection. So he's washing cars 3 times a week. And no, Chester, I think it's actually. What's that?
He says if I had the time, I would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think once a week is actually a really good routine. The reason why I say that is because the more often you wash, the less dirt and grime and harsh elements are on your car. So, you know, if you wash correctly by using like the right products, hint, I guess would be that. Not to say that you need to use our products, but if you're using like, you know, a purposeful car soap and, you know, you're doing it in a way where you're not causing damage, then your car is actually, you won't have to redo your ceramic coating as often, you know, because you're going to be taking care of it more. So like, I was giving you a hard time, not because you're doing it wrong. I was doing it because I think it's cool, but not a lot of people have that in them, you know? Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think that's great, especially, so Chester essentially said like the 3 times a week isn't by hand 3 times a week, but he goes to the pay and spray and rinses his car off twice a week, and then he does a hand wash.
Pay and spray 3 times a month, hand wash once a month.
Oh, pay and spray 3 times a month, and then hand wash once a month. Okay, I see. Yeah, so I mean, I think like
And he
that's.
doesn't use the brush at the pay and spray.
Here's the thing, Chester should start a YouTube channel because he's doing it correctly, and I bet a lot of people could learn stuff from him. Can you use iron remover as a clay lubricant? Yeah, you can. We actually have another good video that touches on that on our YouTube channel here. I do a process on an iron remover on a car, but I clay it with iron remover as the clay lube, like you're asking. And I actually like doing that because for me, just spraying iron remover on your car doesn't exactly do what you need it to do. So I've explained iron remover a bunch of times, but I think it's a little bit confusing. Like iron remover is, yes.
Not alone.
Like I almost recommend claying first and then doing iron remover after, But you can double dip by using iron remover as your clay lube. So the reason why I'm saying that is because like iron contamination is, some of it sits on the top of your car like this, like bonded contamination. So you have iron contamination that sits on the top along with paint overspray and tree sap, road tar. But you also have iron contamination that actually embeds itself into the actual paint. And so the iron contamination that sits on top can be removed by clay. So if you can remove the clay, the paint overspray, the tree sap, and the road tar all at the same time, it's way more efficient to do that, okay? And so you remove that stuff, but you still have the iron contamination that's stuck into your paint. Now, the top portion is shaved off, so it's more like this, right? So like that's why you can see like the tip of this would be like the orange specks that you see on your car. But the iron goes into your car. And so after you've clayed it, you spray the iron remover on, and the iron remover touches the metal that's exposed, and then it starts melting it away all the way to the inside. And then when you rinse it off, it goes away. So it's better to clay first and then do iron remover. If you just spray iron remover on your car, all the iron contamination that's sitting on top, you're gonna melt that away, but it's not gonna get the stuff that's penetrated into your car. So what I like to do is I will have washed the car. I don't like iron remover to sit on my car for too long. So I leave the soap on the car, and I will come back here or wherever I'm gonna do it. Actually, I have a ton of iron contamination on here. So you can see I did the clay mitt over this, and there's still orange specks on here. It's gonna be really hard to see. But let me see if I can find iron remover really quick. So actually, forget it. I'm just gonna show you guys something really.
And T182 also was wondering how often to use iron remover.
Iron remover, I probably do like every 3 months. I don't think it just kind of depends where you live. Like, I get a lot of iron contamination because it snows in Colorado. So the snow like sticks on the car, but like the brake dust from people's car mixes in with the snow, and then it goes onto your car and sticks there.
It's kind of like graphene shampoo, which is like use it as often as you need it. So you
yeah,
see orange specks.
Yeah, but just so you guys, this is wheel cleaner. So wheel cleaner is essentially the same thing as iron remover. It's just a gel formula instead of a regular spray. So like when you spray this, it spits. It doesn't cover a big surface area. So like I'm just gonna use this just so you guys can see this, but I'm gonna spray wheel cleaner on here because it has the same thioglycolate that is in iron remover. And we'll just let this sit for a second. I'll even do it on more of the car. So that's the thing, like when I spray this, I don't know if I could, like I'll do it right here so you can see, but like when I spray this, it only covers this much of an area. When I spray iron remover, it covers like this much of an area. So it's more efficient. It does more work with less product. But just so you guys know, I did the clay mitt on the whole car. I even did the clay mitt right over this pillar right here, the A, B, C, D pillar. Now, if I could have sprayed this on before I did the clay, but the clay removed all the paint overspray and everything I was talking about before, and all the iron contamination that was sitting on top. But I still spray this, and it turns purple still. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's all these like little specks on my paint. That's purple. So the wheel cleaner, or the thioglycolate that's in wheel cleaner or iron remover, is actually penetrating into the, I guess you could call it iron shrapnel that is like stuck in my paint. And that purple reaction is a natural reaction where the thioglycolate is breaking down the metal particles, and that natural reaction turns purple. It's just the way that the world works. And so I'll spray a little bit more so it will like run, maybe you can see it better. But essentially, that's why you would clay first. So even though I clayed, there's still a ton of iron contamination in there. And to be honest with you, like I can't clay. It's really hard for me to clay like up in here. So I bet if I sprayed it up here into those places, it would turn more purple because I couldn't clay in there. So it's not only is it it not only is it melting away the particles that are sitting on top, but also embedded into the paint. I don't know, can you see that, Chris?
A little bit. It's an iPhone, so not like a ton, but yeah, you can definitely see some purple specks there.
So you can actually, it's like a lot more up here. But again, I couldn't clay up there, so it's kind of hitting it all at once.
Rodney says, is it stuck in the paint or in the ceramic coating that you previously had applied?
Both. Yeah, iron contamination can penetrate a ceramic coating. And just like that kind of brings up a good point. Like
ceramic coating isn't like a super thick layer.
Ceramic coating is not a super thick layer, and it's not bulletproof. So I would say that like the ceramic coating, it's a little bit harder for the iron contamination to embed itself in, so you get more sitting on top. That's why I like to clay my ceramic coating. You know, I do it because I do the clay mitt and it's not very aggressive. I do it more often. Like I do it maybe every couple months. Every time I feel like there's something stuck on my car, I just clay mitt it because it's so easy.
Mike's project says, why is it important to remove the iron if it's so hard to see?
It's not. Iron remover is just, I think it, yeah, it's more of like the appearance on your car. And I would say like, I'll be 1,000% honest with you guys, and this can be a controversial statement here, but I generally don't use iron remover on a dark color vehicle. If it's black, charcoal colored, dark blue, red, I don't use it because I can't see, like I can still see some of the orange specks on my, like this doesn't look amazing, but like if it's not a priority to you, don't do it. That's like, it's just an added step, you know? Exactly. And guess what? This might be controversial too. I am not like this anymore. I used to be like this, but if you don't want to wash your car, don't do it. There's a ton of people that do not even, they wash their car once a year, and that's to go through the drive-through car wash. More power to them. You know, but I think like as you know, depending on the kind of standards you hold yourself to, if you have pride in your vehicle, it's something that you really enjoy, you want to take care of it because it gives you so much, you know? So, and there's a pride factor too. Like I want my 16-year-old vehicle to be the cleanest 16-year-old vehicle on the road. There's just like maybe there's an ego to it. I don't know. I feel like I get this weird feeling when in winter I park my car in the parking lot and my car is perfectly white and every other car is destroyed. I just sit there and go like, dude, I love that. It's a total anomaly in a world of people who don't really care for their cars. You guys are the same way. There's a reason why you're watching this, you know? So, but again, there are some processes, if you feel like you want to skip it, don't feel like rules are meant to be broken. If you don't want to iron remover your car, don't do it. It's not that big of a deal. But
Chester says he tried it on his red truck and didn't see anything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's red.
Yeah, it's red. It's gonna the iron remover is gonna turn reddish purple, and you're not gonna see it. But yeah, I just don't. I think white cars, silver cars, Nardo gray color cars, like flat gray cars, I do iron remover on those because you can see the specs, you know. Yeah. So that's just kind of my thing. But I know a lot of professional detailers would probably even say a little bit different because you know, I think there's an element of like doing an iron remover, like a decon on a car before you go into the ceramic coating part of it, you know. But I'm telling you right now, if you ceramic coat over, like at least clay the car, and if you have orange specks on the car and you ceramic coat over it, still going to be hydrophobic. You're just going to see orange specks, you know.
Chester and Wendy both agree with liking the feeling of being the cleanest car in the lot.
Yeah, isn't that the greatest? I love that. I also think that like I have an obsession of having like clean shoes. So it's like extended into like having a clean car. I don't know. That's why I buy black shoes, because I don't have to clean them as much.
1982 says, I also figure that it's an investment and it's depreciating, but it's still an investment.
Yeah.
So you want to take care of it as much as you can.
100%. And if you take care of it consistently, you know, you can even reap the benefits of that. Like when you go to turn it in, you might get more money for it, you know? And especially if you're like selling a car on the, like on Facebook Marketplace or private party, you know, your car is going to sell faster than everyone else's car who doesn't take care of it, you know? So there's a few different elements to the car care piece, but I'm not here to judge. Like if you're the kind of person that doesn't want to do anything, I will not judge you. I do not care. But when you start to raise your standard and you're like, I think I'm gonna start washing my own car, I'd be like, we're here to help, you know? I'm just drying this like real quick.
Yeah, like iron remover is not for one of my friends who bought a brown car so she'd never have to wash it.
Yeah, exactly. That's one strategy. Buy a car that is the color of dirt so you don't have to wash it. I like that.
She did, and she doesn't.
There's a lot of work I have to do on this car. My life is just real busy. Okay. All right, I think that's good for now. All right, so let's come on this side, Chris, to get out of the sun. And I just have to run inside for 1 second. I need a extension cord. Okay. So I just wanted to show this to you guys real quick. And just so you know, take it for what it's worth, because I know that we're outside in, we're not gonna be in the direct sunlight, but we are outside. And we're doing this on a white car. So it's not gonna be very easy to see the enhancement that we do on this car. I'm gonna do a one-step polish right now. I'm just gonna show you kind of like how I like to approach it. And by the way, I do this, like I said, I do this every fall and every spring. So I have a ton of experience of doing this process. I guess I have probably 3 years of experience doing this process, just because the one-step polish hasn't always been out for a long time, maybe 5 years experience. But I know from experience, well, let me just explain this to you. One-step polish. One-step polish is a polish that's designed to work with one pad only, and you have to make the decision of what pad you're going to use. And so with a ceramic coated vehicle, like this has the graphene ceramic spray coat on it, albeit not a lot, because I've just gone through all summer with it on there and I've been washing the car consistently. I want to re-up my ceramic coating, but I want to give this a little bit of added gloss, right? I want the appearance to be a little bit better, and I also just want to remove any sort of swirl marks or anything that I've gotten in my ceramic coating before I put the next layer of ceramic coating on there. So I in my experience, this blue foam pad with the one-step polish works really good. So it's very, very simple and easy. So I think, Chris, if you stand here, you can actually see a pretty good reflection of Elon's car.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the one-step polish like right here so you guys can see it. And hopefully, really what I'm trying to do is I have to be realistic with this car. It's a 2008 4Runner. And so it's not exactly perfect, and I'm okay with that because it's a daily driven car. This is my kid hauler. I take my kids to baseball, football, and cheerleading practice. My daughter cheerleading practice. My son is 7 days a week with baseball and football. So for me, it's not something that I'm going to, it's not ever going to be, I can't I can't think to myself, I'm going to keep this car perfect. But what I can do is make it, again, make a 16-year-old car look better than every other 16-year-old car. So you take the one-step polish. It came out pretty thick on one line, so I just added dots instead of another line. And I'm running this.
This won't remove the coating?
This will remove a little bit of the coating, but not all of the coating. So the only way to fully remove the ceramic coating from the car is to do the microfiber pad with blue compound with doing it twice. So that would be 4 passes total. That's the only way I've ever been able to remove it. You have to be like pretty aggressive with it. But again, I don't think if you put ceramic coating on here, you don't need to remove it to reapply it, because the ceramic coating is going to adhere to any ceramic coating on the market. So for me, it's not as much of remove ceramic coating to put ceramic coating on. It is to make the appearance of my car look good and then lock that in with a fresh layer of ceramic coating. So one-step polish is a technique to doing that. So really what I'm doing is I'm freshening up the graphene ceramic spray coating that's on my car, so it looks much better. So then I put another layer of it on, and then I'll just do it again in the spring. So I'm just kind of like touching up the ceramic coating, and it's totally fine to do. I think that's a common misconception with ceramic coatings is like, and this is very much a mistake on our industry's part of marketing ceramic coatings as years, right? Like our graphene ceramic coating advanced, we go, it's a 9-year coating. Excuse my French, but that's bullsh. You know what I mean, right? Like it is
9 years in perfect scenarios.
9 years if your car sits in a garage 90% of the time. But listen, the ceramic coating might last right here for 500 years, but right here it probably lasts 3 years. It just, there's no way to judge. And every person, for the most part, not all of us watching this live live in Colorado. We all know that, right? Anton lives in the Philippines. Some people that watch this are in the UK. Some of you guys are in California. Some of you guys are in Colorado. It doesn't matter. But if you live in Colorado, your coating's not going to last as long. You're going to acquire more damage. It's just the reality of where you live, right? California, where the weather is perfect almost all the time, ceramic coatings are going to last much longer, you know. But what my take is, and same with Adam, the founder of this business, is that ceramic coatings are not a put it on your car and then just like forget about it, right? Like you still have to maintain your car. And you guys know that, but part of the maintaining thing is I want to make sure my car looks good. So part of that is one-step polish is a tool to be able to do that, in which I don't have to two-step my whole car again. I don't want to spend 16 hours polishing and ceramic coating my car again. I want to spend 2 hours polishing it and then 1 hour coating it. I want to reduce the amount of time that I'm spending. So my process is very designed for that, because I also, in my personal life, don't have a lot of time. So this is how one-step polish works. You spread it out like that. I'm running it on speed 4. One-step polish needs a little bit more time to break down, and it actually has a little bit more open time, meaning it's not going to dust over as fast. So I can actually work through it longer. So I'll do, normally when I do compound step, I do 2 passes. That's side to side, up and down is 1 pass. So side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down. Do that, then move on to the next section, move on to the next section, so forth and so forth. Then when I get to the polishing section, or when I get to the polishing step, same thing, 2 passes. With one-step polish, I do 3 to 4 passes. So that's up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. It lets it work longer, and it breaks down the abrasive in it to make it finish better. Okay, so same polishing techniques I've been teaching you guys for a while. Nice and steady. Overlap by like 10%. ceramic boost would work with this process, yes. Ceramic boost just isn't as durable as the graphene ceramic spray coating. So because I use the spray coating, I just end up doing that. It's pretty easy. I like ceramic boost when I'm not doing like a winter prep or a spring cleaning. I'll do it in between those times. And generally when I'm using ceramic boost, I'm not polishing during that. I'm just deep cleaning with the graphene shampoo, playing it, and then boosting it. I'm not polishing and then reapplying ceramic. So. And again, that video I described before, which is listen up, what is your ceramic coating telling you? That kind of outlines that process. So that was 3 passes right there, okay? Let me just grab a... I have no luck with towels today. I've dropped 2 towels on the ground. I'll just wipe this off. Now, you're not going to see it in camera, but I definitely can see it with my eyes. Like, looking from here and going to here, there's more clarity. And Chris, feel this. Hear that?
Yeah.
Feel this. This is much more smooth. Like I have a more uniform surface. So now when I do, now when I do the spray coating on here, it's going to adhere better and it's going to perform better. Okay, so that's partially why I do one-step polish. I'm going to do the whole car. And because it's a one-step polish, I don't need to compound the whole car and then polish the whole car and then apply ceramic coating. I can just go straight into, I will one-step polish the whole car, be done going around it once, and then I can get into the spray coating portion of it. So,
should we do spray coating next week?
Yeah, I was just thinking that, Chris. I hope you guys are okay with this, but I think what I'm going to do is I have a lot of work to do to polish. Not a lot, but I have a few hours of one-step polishing this whole car. I'm going to do that, and then the next live video will finish the winter prep piece, which is then protecting it to go into winter. And I strongly recommend watching that because I'm not going to just do the paint in the glass. Like I'm going to do the graphene glass coating on the windshield and the rear glass. I'm going to do the spray coating on the side glass, but I'm also going to do spray coating on everything, like my fender wells and wheels, every single portion of my car. I'm going to do the spray coating. And I'll even do it on top of the glass coating I put on here because I'm going to do that first. So, and just so you know, that won't be next week. It will be the week after because I'm going on a family vacation to Hawaii next week with my wife, my kids, and my parents. And I'm really looking forward to it. And I can't ship this to Hawaii to do the live video. So at least Adams Polish said they wouldn't do that. So sorry. But I think today, honestly, we had a lot of discussion about like strip wash, graphene shampoo, things like that. Talked a little bit about one-step polish. But then next week we'll get more into like the graphene. We're going to graphene everything. So I'll just make sure to put on there part 2 so you guys remember. But yeah, and I think another thing I'm going to touch on too is I'm going to put tire armor onto my tires. And that's not something we talk about a lot. So I think you guys will like that as well.
Says, next week you'll be so close to the live there.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Well, at least it would be in the afternoon for Anton when I'm in Hawaii, yeah. Not 5 in the morning. But anyways, you know, today was a little bit, we do washing stuff a lot, so I hope it wasn't like too redundant. If anything, you got some entertainment of watching somebody else wash their car. But thank you guys for watching. And not next week, the week after, we'll finish part 2 of winter prep, which is ceramic coating. So thank you guys for watching.